gentlemen, you are looking live at Unbranded Brewing Company in Hialeah, Florida. It is time for Bash at the Brew 15, a Friday night edition. Blake Chadwick alongside Dan Evans. Dan, tonight, 3 championships to be decided, and of course, our massive women's championship main event inside a 15-foot high steel cage.
I cannot wait for that steel cage match. I saw the cage earlier. It's painted beautifully black. It is unforgiving steel. Marina Tucker, I think she's finally gonna get her comeuppance. KiLynn King, I think she walks out with the belt still held high.
Marina Tucker looking for yet another women's championship run here in Coastal Championship Wrestling. KiLynn King's been sitting on top of the mountain since the beginning of 2022. They've been at each other's throats ever since. Something has to give here tonight. And of course, Dan, also the CCW debut of Fuego Del Sol as he battles Alan S2S Martinez in what should be a blockbuster Cruiserweight title bout.
It's going to be a great one. I don't know if Martinez has what it takes to hold off Del Sol and defend that title. We're going to find out tonight.
The attitude of S2S has certainly turned in recent months. Will he be able to keep that momentum moving here tonight against Fuego Del Sol? But Dan, without further ado, let's sit back, fasten our seatbelt tight, and hold on for this wild ride that's Bash at the Brew 15.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening bout of Bash at the Brew 15 live at Unbranded Brewing Company in Hialeah, Florida is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, she stands at a real 6 feet 2 inches tall. She is the matriarch of mayhem, Sawyer.
Sawyer Wreck making her CCW in-ring debut. We saw her up in Ocala briefly, but this will be the first time we get to see her in action. And look at the size of her. She stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, looks to be in tremendous condition. Looks to have a bit of an attitude. And quite the entrance, but she'll have her hands full of her opponent as Blake Chadwick gets to the introductions.
And her opponent, hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, she is the Brazilian Wonder Woman. Please welcome Christy.
Christy Jaynes, the Brazilian Wonder Woman, challenging Sawyer Rex. It's going to be a real test for Christy Jaynes. She's had a lot of success here at CCW, and there she is. Blake, I do believe this will be Christy Jaynes' toughest challenge to date here at Coastal Championship Wrestling.
The Brazilian Wonder Woman officially back here at Coastal Championship Wrestling. Can't stop to take a second look at that one.
That wait was for me.
That was a little ridiculous, Dan, but nonetheless, Christy Jaynes back in a CCW ring, taking on the real 6 feet 2 inches tall of Sawyer Wreck. She certainly looks to wreck the competition here tonight. Sawyer Wreck coming in, one of the largest women we've ever seen in CCW. She towers over the champion, KiLynn King.
She does indeed. She's got her by at least a couple of inches. There's Christy Jaynes, though. And Christy Jaynes, she stands about 5'7", 5'8". But again, Rex just towers over her.
Jaynes certainly has the experience advantage in this one, but we shall see how it plays out against Sawyer Wreck, the first of 9 matches on our card tonight. Once again, Dan, 3 titles to be decided, bookended by 2 women's matches here tonight.
Jaynes having some fun with Amy Veronica.
As the bell sounds, we are officially underway here. Bash at the Brew 15 Friday night edition. And you can certainly see the height of Sawyer Wreck towering over Christy Jaynes. Jaynes does have several years more of experience, but we'll see if the physical tools of Sawyer Wreck can take advantage, and they are in the early going.
Well, certainly right out of the gate, she just ran right into a brick wall. Jaynes is going down, now trying to collect her thoughts. Uh-oh.
The proverbial gloves are off, Dan.
They are indeed. Let's see if that's the right strategy though, Blake.
I'm not sure if Christi Jaynes wants to go toe-to-toe with Sawyer Wreck, but we shall see. And once again, Sawyer Wreck utilizing her size advantage and taking Christi Jaynes down right to the canvas.
Nice counter by Jaynes on the hip toss, rolls through.
As Jaynes now sent to the outside, and Sawyer Wreck once again looking to remain in control, and Christi Jaynes now creating a semblance of separation here between her and Wreck. Jaynes in the high red district. She's going for it all, Dan. Trying to pin a combination off the top.
Well, nicely done by Jaynes. I think she had the right strategy. She's got to use her speed and agility, try and stay away from...
And look at Sawyer Wreck with this unorthodox brawling type technique here, Dan.
I was about to say she's got to stay away from her. And just as those words were uttered, she got a hold of her.
And Wreck essentially launching Christi Jaynes across the ring here.
Just muscling her over with that suplex.
Oh, this is certainly not a position that Christi Jaynes wants to be in. And she might have lost a tooth right there as her face meets the canvas at a rapid rate. And Sawyer Wreck, very impressive here. I do believe, Dan, this is her CCW debut.
In-ring debut. We saw her briefly up in Ocala, but this is the first time we've seen her in action, and she has been impressive so far. Oh man, a Shevitz, Blake. That was one big heavy-duty knife edge chop.
We're here down in deep Miami, Dan. That might reverberate all the way to Cuba. And Wreck goes for it again, instead connects right on the jaw.
Boy, the crowd not loving Wreck here. Jaynes certainly a fan favorite here in Hialeah.
And Christi Jaynes certainly has taken on a variety of different competitors here in CCW. From the likes of Marina Tucker all the way to Jamie Lynn Senegal. There's a front slam by Sawyer Wreck, but it's not enough to put Jaynes away.
Wreck all over Jaynes.
And she's gonna put Jaynes here in the near side corner right on that top buckle. And Jaynes might be trying to put Wreck to sleep. Leaps right on her back.
She doesn't have it applied properly though.
And Wreck once again,
right over.
You see Sawyer Wreck have the power and strength, but Christi Jaynes trying to utilize her resourcefulness here. Jaynes chopping down the tree of Sawyer Wreck. And she calls that the Neo from Rio.
Well, the Neo from Rio certainly connected. And Wreck now is staggered a bit. Jaynes on the attack, nicely done.
And Christi Jaynes might be looking to turn the corner here, Dan, starting to build some momentum. And the Brazilian Wonder Woman, a Neo from Rio right between the eyes right there too. And Sawyer Wreck somehow hangs on.
Well, she got that chin up at the last second. She didn't get the full connection with that knee. Otherwise, it would have been lights out. Jaynes now really needs to go after her and stay on her and try and put her away while she can. And again, just as I say that, Tyler Wreck just firing back.
And I don't think
having no effect.
I don't think Christi Jaynes wants to exchange blows with Sawyer Wreck here. As Jaynes caught in a bad position out of the corner. She's in a chicken wing here, Dan. And Sawyer Wreck gonna try to turn her inside out and dumps her right down. 1, 2, and somehow Jaynes stays alive in our opening bout here at Bash of the Brew 15.
Blake, I thought that was it. Nicely done, side slam. Jaynes, she's got to figure something out that's going to work against the size and strength of Sawyer Wreck. Nice reversal with Sawyer Wreck right back.
Reverses
Jaynes
course
into the corner.
right here to the near side. And Sawyer Wreck once again colliding with Christi Jaynes. And Sawyer Wreck here might be starting to think about how she wants to finish off the Brazilian Wonder Woman. Charges right in, but unfortunately, Jaynes sidesteps and Sawyer Wreck meets the post. And now the Brazilian Wonder Woman has Sawyer Wreck staggered. There's a pinning combination that's going to do it.
Beautifully done. She got that roll up.
Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christi Jaynes.
She got that roll up, then continued rolling and went into a bridge, all that weight, and she actually used Sawyer Wreck's size against her. She was completely folded in half, Blake.
I An impressive in-ring debut there for Sawyer Wreck, but once again, the Brazilian Wonder Woman finding a way to get the victory.
She certainly did experience one out in this one, but Sawyer Wreck is going to be one individual that's going to have to be reckoned with in the women's division here at Coastal Championship Wrestling. She's not going anywhere.
We have 3 titles scheduled tonight, but a 4th champion set to make an appearance. Find out coming up next here at Bash of the Brew.
Great opening down here at Bash of the Brew 15, but at this time, I would like to welcome the CCW Southeastern Champion. Please welcome Jackal Stevens!
Jackal Stevens making his way to the ring, but he's got his arm in a sling. Obviously not fit for action tonight. The fans love Jackal here in Hialeah.
Jackal Stevens, of course, you are the current CCW Southeastern Champion. You've had some issues in recent weeks. As you can see here by your arm in this sling, what's been going on recently with you already? Thank you for asking, Blake. And I'm proud to be here tonight here in Hialeah, baby. But unfortunately, I, just as well as he already suffered a shoulder injury about 2 weeks ago, and I'm unable to perform for the next couple of weeks. I know. So as for ERA, his time will come, our time will come, but for now, I want to address all the CCW fans, let them know where I'm at.
Where are you single?
So, am I single? I am. I'm single. Come talk to me after the show, okay? So Jackal Stevens, with you on the show for a few weeks, I have to ask, what is the status now of the Southeastern Championship? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Blake. So CCW management suggested that I relinquish the title. They did, that's true. That's true. But you know what, Blake? I don't take too long suggestions. I do what I want. I earned this way.
What is the purpose of Mosh and Mayhem out here?
Well, Blake, I think you made the right move getting the heck out of there.
Once Ozzy Killmeister gave me the look and said get out of the ring, I had no choice.
Oh, he told you to get lost?
As Beastly out here along with Ozzy Killmeister.
you give it its title. I suggest you give me what I want.
Oh, we got a 3-on-1 situation here, Blake, and an injured champion.
As Beastly, along with Ozzy Killmeister, and of course NVIDIA Dan, essentially a 3-on-1 situation here. Jackal Stevens not at 100%.
No, he's backed into a corner now.
Who's gonna help Jackal Stevens in this situation? It's 3-on-1.
I'll never hand that title over to you. To you. Whatever the hell you are, I'll never hand that title over to you either. You're gonna have to beat, kill, and rip it for my one hand. If you want it. He said rip it. So we shall.
Oh, what's this about? What's going on here? Come on now.
This is a problem. You got three.
Wait a minute. The Florida Man. The Florida Man, TC Reed is here. It looks like we could have a potential tag team bout brewing, but of course, Jackal Stevens, he's not clear to compete.
Well, Beastly doesn't know that. Killmeister, both of them shedding their jackets. We could have an impromptu tag team match right here, but as you said, Stevens not cleared to wrestle.
And it looks like NVIDIA having Mosh and Mayhem retreat here.
Somehow that lunatic NVIDIA is the voice of reason.
And it looks like Jackal still has something to say here.
I'm sorry, but I got something to say. Last Mayhem, next month, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get this shoulder right. And me and Florida effing man, challenge you guys to a tag team match next month at Bash the Brew 16.
Well, it's not official, Dan, but the challenge has been laid down.
Got anything to say? Play my music.
And there it is.
We can have a brand new Mega Powers on our hands here, Dan. It's a match made in heaven.
What a couple of goofballs, but I love them.
The Florida Man, TC Reed, and Jackal Stevens. So once again, Dan, craziness occurring at Bash in the Brew. Jackal Stevens unable to compete, not cleared here tonight at Bash in the Brew 15. But it looks like we have a tag bout potentially on the horizon. Bash in the Brew 16, Mosh and Mayhem against the Florida Man TC Reed and the CCW Southeastern Champion Jackal Stevens.
The challenge has been laid out. I'm sure there's going to be an acceptance, and we're going to see that match here on May the 7th.
The crowd's getting into it. The Florida Man is here in Hialeah, but coming up next, some nightmares could be created as Dr. Eric Christopher and Agony return here to CCW and Bash in the Brew. Now joined by Jackal here at the broadcast table.
Guess what? Me and Florida Man next month. Mosh and Mayhem. Me and Florida Man. We're coming for you, baby. Take on us right now.
Blake, he's out of his mind.
I guess that's what I get for looking at Christy Jaynes, right? So nonetheless, Agony in action, and that is coming up next.
Do you want to be a mark? Or do you want to leave a mark?
I'm smarter than the average bear.
Boca Stone Design, from fabrication to installation of natural stone and quartz. Sick of seeing the same old kitchen? Revamp with us. Call us today or check us out online at bocastonedesign.com.
Attention wrestling fans, the place to be each and every Tuesday is on the Coastal Championship Wrestling YouTube channel, where a new episode of CCW Alive Wrestling drops at 7 p.m. Witness the hard-hitting, high-flying action that is synonymous with the longest-running independent wrestling promotion in the southeastern United States. Subscribe today and don't you dare miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, he is the Maker of Nightmares, accompanied to the ring by Dr. Eric Christopher. This is
The ominous music begins, and we are mere moments away from a nightmare. And there's Dr. Eric Christopher, and right behind him, the maker of nightmares, Agony. A former CCW Heavyweight Champion and an absolute nut job. Blake Chadwick better keep his distance. You never know what Agony is capable of or what he might do.
and his opponent from Santiago, Chile, weighing in 220 pounds. He is the leader of the pack, Taylor Wolfe.
Taylor Wolfe, the Chilean superstar. He is put together and he is ready for Agony. I talked to him earlier before the match. He's not intimidated in the least. And Agony is going to have his hands full. This individual, Taylor Wolfe, is one of the strongest men pound for pound here at Coastal Championship Wrestling.
Had an opportunity to speak to Taylor Wolfe before Bash in the Brew 15, Dan, and he's very focused, ready to come off of that matchup he had a couple of weeks ago at our CCW anniversary show. Now he's been competing all over the world, extensive trips throughout South America. He's here at CCW, ready to give it a go. And Taylor Wolfe seemingly building somewhat of a following already here in CCW.
Yeah, he's incredibly powerful, Blake. I talked to him earlier as well. There he goes, right out of the gate, a drop kick to Agony. He said he's going to be all over Agony. He's not backing down an inch. And there you see it, but Agony just a brick wall. A pair of clotheslines, a pair of drop kicks, and Agony hasn't budged.
As right now, Agony showing off his power, dominating Taylor Wolfe. But look at the speed and quickness here of Taylor Wolfe. That compact size at 220 pounds, showing off a little bit more quickness than we probably expected.
Agony is using his brute force, grabbing him around the throat, just barreling him back into the corner. And again, Agony with a clothesline in the corner that time. Wolfe heading to the outside, maybe looking to take a breather, but Agony's got a hold of him. Smart move by Taylor Wolfe, snapping the neck down. You got to do whatever it takes against Agony. Agony missing a punch. Taylor Wolfe trying to kick out the legs. He's got him down to one knee, Blake.
And Taylor Wolfe, extensive strikes here. And I think he went to the well one too many times, Dan. As Agony trying to put a stop to things, does not get the big man off his feet, but he's certainly staggered in the near side corner. Taylor Wolfe now, look at that power, just picking up Agony and dumping him right down.
Just sheer strength. Covers him 1, 2. Not enough.
And Taylor Wolfe, very impressive here in his Bash at the Brew debut. The first opportunity for these fans in Hialeah to get an up-close and personal look at the leader of the pack. And Agony this time, that standing Uranagi, look at him just pick up Taylor Wolfe and plant him right now.
Nah, you're not going to cover Taylor Wolfe like that. Blatant choke now, Blake.
And Taylor Wolfe, who is dominating throughout the first few minutes there, he calls himself the leader of the pack, Dan, with Jackal Stevens' Southeastern Championship title a bit compromised right now. Taylor Wolfe could be looking to lead the pack of the Southeastern Championship division, but not if Agony is going to dominate him like this.
I was just going to say he's going to have to get past Agony first. Agony just putting his foot on his chest, leaping up and dropping a leg across the chest. Taylor Wolfe is in a bad way right now, Blake.
As Taylor Wolfe now trying to get to a vertical base, as Agony, who I thought had won over some fans here in Hialeah in recent months, seemingly reversing course here against Taylor Wolfe.
Agony just absorbing all of this punishment. It's incredible.
Agony goes right back to it one more time. He elevated Taylor Wolfe about 7 or 8 feet in the air to, and Agony thought he had the match won.
I think Adrian Paz's hand hit that mat a 3rd time, but he's telling Eric Christopher it was a 2 count. Wolfe did get his shoulder up in time. Agony, though, now going to the top, Blake. Wolfe cutting him off.
And Agony, we've seen him come off the top rope before, Dan. He's in that high red district.
Wolfe going up, though.
And Wolfe,
wow, what a tremendous superplex. This crowd coming unglued, Blake. He just superplexed Agony off the top rope and let him fly. They came separate, and Agony is down. And if he doesn't cover him, he's out of his mind. He needs to cover him.
Taylor
now.
Wolfe, but no, it looks like he wants to add a little bit more emphasis here. He's going all the way upstairs.
He's going
Keep your eyes on the leader of the pack. Taylor Wolfe is perched up. He goes for the 450, but he tries to put on the brakes, but he finds himself 6 feet under.
That tombstone, he got all of it.
1, 2, 3. Dan, once again, a very impressive performance by the leader of the pack, Taylor Wolfe, but the maker of nightmares is too much once again.
Well, I thought he had him a couple of times in that match. Taylor Wolfe was incredibly aggressive as he had to.
Did you like that, Dan? Did you like it?
Hey, listen, man, the match is over. Go to the
goal. I don't care what you say.
Eric Christopher, I gotta tell you, I don't know what his problem is with me personally, but he's always in my face. Anyway, Agony, an incredibly impressive victory, and Taylor Wolfe, an incredible performance in his own right, but Agony just too tough for him, Blake.
The good doctor looking to cook up another prescription for championship gold. Here is Agony looking to get back on track here in Coastal Championship Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, it's America's tag team, Blake Bowman. He'll be in action.
Here comes Mr. Wrestling number 3, Blake Bowman. Wait a minute. He must be looking for his tag team. Whoa, hello. That's Dan Lambert, the owner of America's Top Team. He's got a microphone in his hand, and that's never a good sign. This guy can really run his mouth. Dan Lambert, Blake.
But I actually wasn't asking the question to be rude.
He is incredibly offensive to our fans here in Hialeah.
This morning for the MMA trip, and one of our fighters said, I understand you're going to Hialeah tonight. Well, that's my hometown, and I don't think you're going to be there, Dan. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure the people will even understand you, so why don't you let me come as your bodyguard and your translator. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome the king of the 305, Jorge Gangrel Masvidal.
Whoa, no way. Get out of here. There's no way.
Did you Pinejos really believe Jorge Masvidal
This son of a gun.
come down to this shithole?
Oh, hey!
Is this kind of a family show?
The first thing he did when he made money in MMA was move the hell out of this place.
This guy is so incredibly offensive, Blake.
Could you imagine how confusing it would have been if he were standing next to me and every time I said Jorge, 90% of the guys in the crowd thought I was talking to them.
That's some low-hanging fruit.
Actually, it would have been worse if I mispronounced his name, hey whore, and 100% of you women knew I was talking to you.
My God.
I hope Blake Bowman's driving the getaway car.
Enough about you. Let's talk about my favorite subject, me. Why am I here? I got a phone call last week from Blake Bowman, a former MMA fighter who trained in American Top Team. He said, hey man, would you be willing to come down to the CCW show? I said, hey Blake, no offense, but I don't like today's professional wrestling. I'm an old school guy. You want to come over and watch some tapes of championship wrestling from Florida, 1970s and 80s? I'm all in. Give me Dusty Rhodes. Give me Jackie Jerry Briscoe. Terry Funk. U.S. Bruce Owens right there, a referee from the 70s and 80s. I'm all in. But I would rather sit through a root canal at the dentist office than watch an episode of Monday Night Raw. So count me out.
Does this guy ever shut up?
I said, hey man, I'm telling you, CCW.
I don't think he's shut up for 4 years.
We got a good group of young guys. We got a good group of old guys coming down. I said, make sure that pitch in that Greek. Fonzie will be there, and I'm there.
Now he's got a beef with Fonzie? We got a show. What the hell's he doing?
I mean, he's hijacking the whole event, Blake.
Until 10 o'clock. I said, what do I have to lose? Well, I showed up. The answer to that question is 10 minutes of my life that it took me to realize that the only thing that sucks more than this company is your city. So as I went to leave, Blake came to me and said, hey man, you know so much. Help me ruin it. You let me come back to ATT and train. You be my manager, and I will knock off all the top stars in this company until they go out of business.
What sort of deal is this?
You see us? We'll take out Vinicious, and we'll work our way all the way out to that whatever his name is. Well, the only thing I like more than my success is people's failure. So I said I'm in. See you on Monday at the gym. But since we're here right now, why don't we make it start tonight? Bring out that piece of garbage, Vinicious, and let's get this started.
Whoa! He's calling out the Brazilian Destroyer.
And we got a live band, Angel Riot, playing the entrance music for Vinicious. Well, that Dan Lambert is some piece of wordplay.
I'm still speechless over here. Dan Lambert spouting off at the mouth.
Ariel Levy with live vocals.
Ariel Levy. A live performance by one half of the CCW Tag Team Champions. As Blake Bowman, Dan Lambert, American Top Team, America's Tag Team, making a statement, but now, here comes the SAA.
Well, there's Vinicious.
Another bash at the Brew moment here at Hialeah. On a night where we expect to see several between our Cruiserweight title match, our Heavyweight title match, and of course our cage main event.
Well, Blake, that was an entrance.
A one-of-a-kind entrance for the South American Alliance tonight. Well, bell sounds were underway. Here we go.
Levy appears to be leaving the ringside area. Oh no, he's gonna stay here. Good. Counteract that Dan Lambert.
As Ariel Levy will be on the outside. There is no scheduled bout tonight for the Tag Team Champions.
Well, Levy actually is in singles competition, is he not? Vinicious firing back on Blake Bowman. Bowman with a right hand and a forearm to the side of the head.
And Vinicious coming out. Guns a-blazing here. Trying to utilize that power to get through the man formerly known as Mr. Wrestling 3.
Bowman out of the way of a charging Vinicious and now going on the attack. Vinicious, of course, was scheduled to wrestle Jack Talos.
That was on the marquee. No real clue where Jack Talos is here, Dan. As Vinicious looking to make a serious statement here as a singles competitor. Here comes Vinicious. And 300 plus pounds comes crashing down along the throat of Blake Bowman. And now the Brazilian Destroyer putting Bowman in place here. And look at Blake Bowman
kicks his
here.
way free.
The go behind, he's gonna try to choke him out here, looking for that rear naked.
Vinicious, though, he wing locks him right over.
Wonderful counter by Vinicious. He must have been studying some sort of film. And Vinicious, his signature call out to the crowd. But right now, here comes Bowman trying to grapple with him here. Tries to tie him up in the clinch almost.
Vinicious laid in a big headbutt, broke free.
And now Vinicious, he's pointing at Dan Lambert. Oh, here comes Vinicious, the Brazilian Destroyer. He's like, oh, right in front of us here, Dan.
Bowman saw him going towards Lambert, came right through the ropes with a drop
They're
kick.
right beside us.
Bowman driving a knee into the midsection of Vinicious. Oh, into the corner post, they both go. It seems like Bowman got the brunt of
And
it.
we certainly know how hard Vinicius' head is. Not doing a whole lot of damage to that back alley brawler.
Little sip of beer, and into the ring he goes, but he's met by the knee of Blake Bowman, Blake.
And now Vinicius gets the momentum derailed here by Blake Bowman, and we know Bowman's offense typically very methodical. As right now, slowing down the Brazilian Destroyer.
Bowman very dangerous, using that MMA background. You don't know if he's going to wrestle and grapple, or if he's going to throw strikes.
Roughly 25 professional fights in the mixed martial arts realm for Blake Bowman throughout his career. It has been quite some time, though, since he has competed on a professional basis outside of the squared circle.
Well, he's certainly in control of Vinicius right now. Bowman now looks like he's going for the belly-to-belly suplex, but Vinicius putting on the brakes.
Typical wrestling hold here by Blake Bowman, but the Brazilian Destroyer gonna counter with his own belly-to-belly. I don't think he gets 2 points there, but he certainly gets the advantage.
Bowman walking into an elbow, and now a clothesline by the big Brazilian Destroyer.
As Vinicius starting to build some momentum here, and once again, Dan, you notice, no Bill Alfonso tonight.
There's that signature flying crossbody block. Vinicius has him right where he wants him now, Blake.
As Vinicius looking out to the crowd here, he's starting to feel it a bit. Bowman trying to pull himself to his feet, and Vinicius is going to have Bowman in position here. He might be looking to shut the door with the greetings from Copacabana. And Bowman once again leaps on his back, trying to cinch in that rear naked choke. He's getting that arm underneath the chin.
Lambert says it's over. He's waving his arms, but no.
And Vinicius' momentum will break it up. But Bowman's gonna go back to the well one more time.
Climbing on the back of Vinicius. If he can get him down, Blake, he might have him here.
As Vinicius starting to fade here. He's still on 2 feet. Oh, he falls backwards.
Well, that'll do it. Bowman landing hard with Vinicius on top of him.
As both men a bit groggy here, trying to pull themselves back to a vertical base.
Bowman going right back to it, Blake.
From a seated position here, Dan. And Bowman's got him in the rear naked choke here. Vinicius is starting to fade. He falls back. Wait, Bowman's shoulders are down.
Well, Vinicious with good heads-up wrestling, Blake. He had him in that rear naked choke, but he reared that 300-plus pounds right back onto his chest and got the 3 count.
He had that choke cinched in, but the resourcefulness of Vinicious, that ring awareness, lead back, Bowman's shoulders were down for about 3.1 seconds, just enough. Referee Andy Seeley right on top of things. A great victory here for Vinicious, overcoming the words of Dan Lambert to start the match.
Absolutely, and I was happy to see it. Now, Vinicious, of course, celebrating as only he can with a swig of beer, and it spills all over his chest.
Match of the Brew 15, what a better way to celebrate than with a signature brew right here in Hialeah Unbranded Brewing Company. The South American Alliance successful yet again, but it seems like they still have lingering issues with Jack Talos, Blake Bowman, now Dan Lambert, and the rest of America Top Team.
Unbelievable, the odds are stacked up against him. But Blake, coming up next is the one I've been waiting for a long time to see. El Fuego Del Sol making his CCW debut.
Our first of 3 championships to be decided. The Cruiserweight title is on the line. We're looking at a classic on the horizon. Fuego Del Sol, S2S Martinez, and it's coming up next.
Accidents happen. If you've been injured in an accident, get the compensation you deserve. At GotInjured.com, we're here to help you take your life back. Give us a call or visit us online at GotInjured.com now to learn more.
Hey CCW fans, Minutes to the Bell Time is your one-stop shop for pro wrestling news and information. Stay up to date with the daily wrestling news show, the Body Slam Brigade newsletter, and check out our social media for daily updates. Find out more by following Minutes to the Bell Time on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
Calling all future stars of professional wrestling. The CCW Training Facility is open in South Florida. If it has always been your dream to enter the squared circle, then the CCW Training Facility is the first step in making that dream come true. All of our trainees will participate at our live events and be part of our weekly TV show. Classes are forming now for referees, managers, and for male and female wrestlers. Call 954-397-6421 or visit our website at ccwrestlingfl.com and find out how you can make an impact on the pro wrestling scene. Call or click today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a booming entitlement, and it's for the CCW Cruiserweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. He is fighting out of Mobile, Alabama. He is the master of the Tornado DDT, making his CCW debut. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fuego Del Sol.
There he is, the crowd coming to their feet to welcome AEW superstar El Fuego Del Sol as he makes his CCW debut, hot-shotted in right to the top and challenging Alan Martinez for the Cruiserweight Championship. Incredibly agile, backflip off the top rope. I can't wait to see this Cruiserweight title match. The crowd really behind El Fuego Del Sol.
Weighing at 170 pounds, he is the current reigning and
comes the champ. An attitude that is actually quite disappointing. Blake, I was just commenting on the attitude change of Alan S2S Martinez in recent months.
And not only has he had an attitude change, Dan, but it's paid dividends. As right when we saw that attitude change, he took that CCW Cruiserweight Championship from around the waist of Chris Farrow. And now coming out here with a towel around his neck. It's almost like Alan Martinez feels he's on a whole nother stature than the rest of society.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. But this crowd in Hialeah really telling her how they feel. He comes out to a chorus of boos.
As we know about the worldwide popularity of Fuego del Sol, certainly very popular here in the 305 down in Hialeah at Unbraided Brewing Company. And it's the Tornado DDT of Fuego del Sol against perhaps the Meteora of Alan S2S Martinez. Something has to give here. And Dan, this is that classic bout, cruiserweight style to the max. Bell sounds, we are underway. Fuego del Sol challenging Alan S2S Martinez for the CCW Cruiserweight Championship. Referee Adrian Paz assigned to this contest. And it looks like this one has gotten quite personal before the bell has even really rang.
The two competitors shoving one another. Now a power elbow tie-up.
With a lot of force nonetheless. As these two jockeying for position here. S2S checking in at 170. Fuego del Sol refused to tell me his weight earlier today. I think he wanted to play some mind games with the champion.
Well, I don't think that bothered Martinez one bit. Martinez letting loose with a slap to his face, made a mistake of turning his back. Beautifully done by Del Sol.
Both competitors look to be in similar stature.
I think Fuego's got a slight height advantage.
Not often do you see luchadors coming from Mobile, Alabama. But Fuego del Sol represents each and every week all around the world on All Elite Wrestling. But he's wanted to come to CCW for a long time, Dan.
Well, he finally made it here. Martinez now, though, in control with a wrist lock.
Try to manipulate the wrist there. Fuego del Sol, of course, that will slow down the master of the Tornado DDT. As Fuego here, looking to show off some of his acrobatics and reverse his course, and now takes control of S2S.
Nicely done by Del Sol, driving Martinez down to his knees. Martinez trying to roll out of it, Blake. Fuego rolled right with him and kept a hold of the wrist.
As right now,
he's got a handful of mask now.
S2S back to his feet here. And I'll tell you what, each and every time we've been in Hialeah since Alan S2S Martinez won that Cruiserweight Championship, this crowd getting louder and louder in their objection to the champion.
Yeah, they really don't like this guy one little bit. Nice amateur waistlock takedown by Fuego.
And now we're going to take it to the mat. And of course, Fuego del Sol, a disciple of Cody Rhodes. And of course, Cody Rhodes, an extensive high school amateur wrestling background. And he's calling for it right here. If he connected with that, we'd be looking at a new Cruiserweight champion. S2S, the standing switch. And Fuego creating some separation here. And Fuego del Sol gets the best of S2S. And it's caliente here in the 305.
They are really coming to life for Fuego del Sol. Martinez to the outside, trying to get some breathing room.
As this crowd certainly very happy to see Fuego del Sol here in the CCW ring, and once again cuts off the momentum of S2S.
Blake, he leaped right over the top rope, walked right into an arm drag. Del Sol in control of that arm bar now with a knee driving it into the side of the head of Martinez. Martinez now getting free. Oh, did you see that, Blake? A handful of hair by Del Sol. Don't see that too often. Usually the guy.
Well, if S2S is ripping at his mask, he's just trying to play fair.
Okay, turnabout's fair play, I guess.
And look at Del Sol putting himself in position. The standing shooting star press. 2 and 2.5.
And again, Martinez trying to break the momentum.
Del Sol staying one step ahead of the Cruiserweight champion. They're right in front of us here, Dan.
That baseball slide took his speed out. Look out.
Keep your eyes on Fuego Del Sol.
Del Sol put on the brakes. Martinez saw him coming. Del Sol now out after Martinez. Martinez sees it. Block of the right hand.
Rarely do we see Alan Martinez try to throw punches with his opponents.
Del Sol slamming the head of Martinez into the apron of the ring.
And once again, Dan, they're right in front of us here. But the only way Fuego is going to win that championship is if they get back inside the ring. Wait a minute. Fuego going to reverse. S2S puts on the brakes. Here comes Fuego Del Sol. Oh! And Martinez launches him overhead. And Fuego's head connects with the steel.
Blake, I had a tremendous view. His head bounced right off that corner post. Del Sol might be completely unconscious. The fans are actually pulling him up.
And Martinez once again going back to work right here on S2S. Wait a minute. The Irish Mo! And Fuego right into the steel guardrail. And Alan S2S Martinez not playing fair here tonight, Dan.
No, he's all over him, Blake. When Martinez gets the upper hand, he is extremely aggressive as he leaps over the top rope and continues his attack about Fuego Del Sol, who is slumped in the corner at the receiving end of Martinez's boots.
And S2S is in control right now. And you can certainly see once again, Dan, how the attitude change of Alan S2S Martinez has put him in the position he's in right now.
Yeah, it has, and he's incredibly aggressive. And certainly a little bit more, less scientific, more rights and lefts.
And S2S, oh! I couldn't tell if he was trying to snap off a Hurricane Rana or connect with the Enziguri, but nonetheless he connects right on the side of the head of Fuego Del Sol. And S2S now, the springboard stop right to the back of Fuego Del Sol. He's going to drag him to the center of the ring.
Could have him
S2S
here,
retain his title.
Adrian Paz right in position. Del Sol able to power out.
So right now, Fuego not in a very favorable position. And S2S connects right in the basement too. And I believe the failure to hook the leg there and put some pressure on the shoulders of Fuego Del Sol just cost S2S a championship defense.
Blake, you took the words right out of my mouth. He was able to power out using his legs that were completely free. Martinez with an arrogant cover, and it could cost him in the end of this match. As he walks right into a right hand into the midsection, Del Sol now firing back.
And now Alan Martinez, 170 pounds, coming right on the back of the neck of Fuego Del Sol. And now S2S looking to slow down the pace here. And this is a smart strategy by Alan Martinez, knowing Fuego Del Sol likes to take to the air to really get his offensive flow going.
Yeah, he's going to keep him on the ground, where his offense is much less effective. Del Sol needs to get back up to a vertical base and find a way.
And Fuego, he has about 1,000 people in this building supporting him. And Del Sol now. Oh! He goes for the Cape Rana! And S2S connects with the dropkick in the midsection. 2 and 9, 10 stand, he just kicked out.
So close, Blake.
What a match here in Hialeah.
He's got him up in a torture rack, Blake. Del Sol kicks free. And a big neck breaker, leaping neck breaker. Both men are down.
Possibly out of desperation. The Cruiserweight title's hanging the balance here. S2S has pulled himself to a vertical base. Fuego trying to get to his feet now.
Well, Martinez is back to his feet, but I think by instinct only. And down he goes. Oh, and a nice drop kick there.
And Fuego trying to piece some offense together. Look at the speed and quickness. Fuego del Sol. S2S goes for the home run swing. And there's the Asai moonsault.
He could have a Blake.
Here we
He can
go.
do it.
We got a new champion.
1, 2. Oh, come on. I can't believe it, Blake.
What a match.
Del Sol questioning the cadence of the counter. Referee Adrian Paz.
It sounds like 100% support in this building for Fuego del Sol. Dan, I'm looking out in the distance. I see the wind starting to swirl. I see a slight cone starting to develop here. We could be heading for a tornado DDT. Standing C4, 1, 2. And that standing C4 Spanish fly almost does it, Fuego. Here we go again.
He caught him with that savate kick to the side of the head, but even that wasn't enough, Blake. What's it gonna take to put away Fuego del Sol? The crowd showing their appreciation.
This one's certainly an early contender for 2022 Match of the Year here in CCW, but it might even be top tonight. Martinez. He's got Fuego once again in that torture rack position. He was trying to put Fuego to sleep. Jackknife cover, 2. And here he goes.
Oh, there it is. Tornado DDT. No. Martinez had it scouted, was able to spin out of it.
And S2S trying to throw anything he can at Fuego.
Leaping curb stop. Both men are down now.
The Cruiserweight title hanging right in the balance here.
Referee up to a 3 count, and neither of these men can get back to their feet before he counts to 10, Blake. I guess we'll have a draw. Both men beginning to stir now, though. Martinez to his knees. That will break the count.
Referee Adrian Paz administering his count once again. Dan, if he gets a 10, Fuego del Sol can't win that title.
Forearm to the side of the head. They're exchanging blows now, Blake.
And here comes Fuego, trying to build a little steam here.
Fuego with a flurry of right hands. Whoa, almost collided with the referee. Oh, man, Shevitz. Adrian Paz's head just snapped back.
And Alan Martinez obviously going for Fuego del Sol with that shotgun drop kick. Connects with our official. Now Fuego. How's he gonna win the match here?
Well, he can't.
Fuego into position. Tornado
He
DDT. He's got him.
Come on, ref. Nah, come on. Paz is out cold.
Adrian Paz down. Let's get another ref out here. Come on. Fuego's got the match won.
Where's Bruce Owens or somebody, for crying out loud?
Amy Veronica, someone get out here. Hell, I'd even take Lou Spector at this point.
Wow, now you're getting carried away.
As Fuego del Sol.
Del Sol now crawling over to Paz, trying to rouse him. Paz is now out cold.
He's not moving.
Blake, I saw his head right in front of me. It snapped. Oh! the low blow. Come on, and a handful of tights.
But look, he did it to himself. He's the one who got Paz out of the match.
And now look at him saying, hey, where's the ref? Boy, this guy's out of his mind.
Adrian Paz, I mean, I hope he's okay. He's barely moving. And look at Fuego. He's signaling for it here, Dan. We could be going for part 2. Here we go, Tornado DDT.
He nailed it.
He's got a submission.
He's got that guillotine locked in. He's tapping out. He's tapping out.
He's tapping.
The referee's up. He called the bell. What the hell? Come on, Paz. Paz talking to ring announcer Blake Bowman, or excuse me, Blake Chadwick. What is going on? He grabbed that belt away from Del Sol. Del Sol had the submission. Martinez tapped out. What the hell?
Referee Adrian Paz has said, due to the kick by S2S Martinez, Fuego Del Sol is the winner of the match as a result of a disqualification.
Ah, come on!
Therefore, still, your Cruiserweight champion, Martinez.
Champion's advantage. Martinez loses. Martinez wins via disqualification. Del Sol Del Sol gets the disqualification win, but he clearly tapped out.
Del Sol, of course, gets the win in the column, but this is not how he wanted it to go down.
This is not why I came all the way here to Florida to CCW. I did not come here for this.
Wow, that's highway robbery, Blake.
However, this was my debut here, and as much as I heard about this crowd, this you are the reason I came here.
Del Sol showing his appreciation for the crowd here in Hialeah. Blake, everybody wants to be a part of Bash of the Brew. Del Sol, no exception.
I'm sorry about how this ended. I'm sorry if I referred to the ladies. I'm sorry if I underperformed later.
I guess there's an after party.
However, I can tell you that me and this guy will lock up again. I can tell you I will get another shot at that Cruiserweight title. I will tell you, Fuego Del Sol is coming back to CCW.
Well, CCW would be lucky to have him back here. Unbelievable performance. Del Sol with a victory, but not the way he wanted to play.
So an impressive performance by Fuego Del Sol in his CCW debut. And certainly an unfortunate turn of events here, Dan. Fuego Del Sol thought he won the Cruiserweight title on his debut. This entire crowd in Hialeah did. But Adrian Paz, he made the right call, but unfortunately not the way we wanted to see it.
Blake, I got to disagree with you. That was a judgment call on his part. Yes, he was disqualifying Martinez, but he saw him tap out. He was going to win either way. He could have gone the other direction.
He very well could have, as you said, Dan, it was a judgment call, but that is why he was wearing the stripes. I do believe the issues between Fuego Del Sol and S2S Martinez not quite over here in CCW.
Not over by a long shot, Blake.
So coming up next, folks, more action here at Bash of the Brew 15 Friday night edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome Chamberlain.
Are you done? For the uninitiated, I am professional wrestling's hottest free agent, one of the best to travel all 6 continents in the whole combat sports. I am Alex Chamberlain.
Well, Blake, the crowd not impressed.
Westchester. Hialeah? That's the poor one, right? Gross. I want to get you to know the people who are going to be worshiping me when I'm done tonight. How many people here drink beer? Yeah? Alright, good. None of you are adults, don't drink liquor like a real person. Alright, cool. Now I get it. CCW has called me here tonight to save the show. I got a call literally this morning, and they go, oh man, Alex, we're lacking real star power. We need a heavy hitter. Is your schedule free? And for a real decent price, I have chosen to grace you with my presence. So, you're welcome. One thing I like to do in every state that I try to do in this great country is I throw out what's called the Chamberlain Challenge. What that is if there's anyone in the back who has the stones to get in the ring with me, I will give them a few minutes and I tear them up, chew them up, spit them out, set them up, get paid, and then I take it all.
He's certainly a man that's competed all around the world for almost 2 decades.
Who here tonight wants to throw down with one of the most dangerous human beings? You think you can hang with 6'2", 240 pounds, but you can lace my boot? Put your ass down, don't be a joke. Yeah, shut up.
Chamberlain going after the crowd here.
Right, better be careful. I'm sure there's more than a handful of people here that have had a couple of gallons of beer.
Not one bit body here. You're all just sloppy pieces of human garbage. This is why I show up. Night in, night out.
He decides to show up once a year, and this is what we get?
Wow. I hope somebody from the back comes out and shuts him the heck up.
Who's it gonna be? We know there's a lot of hungry students out there.
Well, that spells trouble. Blake, I know that music,
There's
and that
no
spells
way.
trouble.
There's no way. The Vampire Warrior is here.
Well, Blake, Chamberlain asked for it, and man, is he going to get it.
The Vampire Warrior's here. I've been here for a few hours, Dan. I haven't seen Gangrel in the building.
He's been lurking in the shadows. I guess I didn't see him either.
I've had one too many Bud Blasts in my career.
Smart move, Blake. This crowd is fired up in Hialeah. What a night, and a Friday night bash. Well, I gotta tell you, Alex Chamberlain, walking around ringside here, doesn't seem to have a care in the world. At least the guy's got confidence.
And it should be noted here, Dan, Alex Chamberlain and Gangrel have hooked it up dozens of times all over the United States. These two very familiar with one another, so in a way, a little bit of an advantage for Chamberlain that he actually knows the opponent pretty well.
That's an excellent point, Blake. We'll see if he has what it takes to put away this 30-plus year veteran and one of the toughest guys in the world of professional wrestling.
So about 255 of Gangrel, 240 of Alex Chamberlain. Oh, Chamberlain gonna go right after Gangrel before the bell. Amy Veronica calls for it, and the Chamberlain challenge has commenced.
Well, you're right. Chamberlain knows Gangrel very well, and he has a game plan. Even though he didn't know who his opponent was going to be, he knows how to go on the attack.
As the Vampire Warrior here looks a bit ticked off, and the last few times I've seen him, Dan, he hasn't been 100%, has been on the mend with his back and knee, but he looks to have a new lease on life here tonight.
He really does. He's moving a lot better than I've seen him in previous weeks. Gangrel fired up now, going to work with right hands on Chamberlain, but Chamberlain went to the eyes.
The veteran tactic right behind the back of Amy Veronica. And Gangrel makes a rare mistake there, putting his head down, and allows Chamberlain to maybe take control, but he walks right in to the snake eyes there.
Ooh! Gangrel going for that DDT. Chamberlain had it scouted.
Gangrel goes for a rare.
Two.
Oh, he nearly stole it. Gangrel dialing it back about 35 years. As the Vampire Warrior here, trying to spoil the party for the Chamberlain challenge.
Chamberlain calling for a timeout. Complaining to the referee about something, Blake.
And Gangrel, as Chamberlain sidesteps him, Gangrel to the floor, but he stands on his feet.
Chamberlain baited him in.
Oh no! And the clothesline, and as you fans at home can see, there's no padding or protection out here. That's sheer concrete.
Gangrel landing hard on that solid concrete floor. Chamberlain taunting the crowd here in Hialeah, and then stopping a boot right into the face of Gangrel, and now a pair to the back. You can see the look of pain on Gangrel's face.
That clothesline,
Gangrel though firing back, knife edge chop right here in front of us, Blake.
That clothesline by Chamberlain certainly did some damage, but that's going to do even more, sending the Vampire Warrior crashing into the steel steps.
He reversed it right into those steel steps. He nailed lower back first, Blake, and that's a problem.
And Chamberlain
recovering from a back injury, and that's not going to help it any.
May have realigned him a bit, but Chamberlain take it over right here. I don't think Alex Chamberlain's worried about the 1, 2, 3 as much as he's about making a statement.
And these two better be careful if they don't want to get counted out. Referee Amy Veronica up to an 8 or a 9 count, I do believe, Blake. Now Gangrel back in the ring, or at least
and Gangrel
most of them is
going to be set up there on that ring apron. That's the hardest part of the ring. And Chamberlain drops 240 pounds right across the throat of Gangrel.
Gangzel's in trouble, Blake.
And Dan, once again, Alex Chamberlain coming out here. To my knowledge, it's been 10, maybe 15 years since Alex Chamberlain's been in a CCW ring.
Yeah, you know what? Not that far off. Part of the Red Devil fight team. 1, 2, He is a former CCW Tag Team Champion.
He has certainly left Mother Russia, but now he's spread his wings all around the world, and he's making a statement here down in the 305 tonight. And Gangrel, you see that look on his face. He's ready to go, but he might not be all there at the moment. And the Vampire Warrior here closing in on year 36 in the professional wrestling business. And Chamberlain in his own right, rapidly approaching his 20th year.
Nice power slam by Gangrel.
He reverses course and gets a 2.5.
As you saw Gangrel getting to his feet, he was punching Chamberlain in the legs.
That was a nice shift in momentum by the Vampire Warrior, but he's planted right down. Chamberlain stacks him up. And that wasn't enough, but Gangrel on the precipice of defeat.
Chamberlain now picking Gangrel up.
And Chamberlain methodically now picking apart the Vampire Warrior.
Chamberlain out to the outside. He could be going up, Blake. He's not known as a high flyer, not by a long shot.
And Chamberlain goes for it all. The coup de grace. Nobody home, and Gangrel
out of the way.
Looking for a second win here.
Chamberlain eating a mouthful of canvas. Gangrel clear across the ring, trying to make his way back to his feet.
And the Vampire Warrior here.
Right hands by the Vampire.
Starting to unload on Chamberlain. Here we go. Side Russian leg sweep. Floats over. 1, 2. And he's calling for it. We saw Fuego call for the Tornado DDT. How about an impaler?
There it is. He's got him. No.
Oh, he's going to pick up Chamberlain, plate him down. And this is some vintage Gangrel offense right here. Right out of the Buddy Landell playbook with that corkscrew elbow.
Again, nicely executed. There it is. 1, 2. Ah! Referee a little bit slow in getting into position, Blake.
It sounds like this crowd is ready for Gangrel to shut the door on the Chamberlain challenge. And now, wait a minute. Where's he going, Dan?
I gotta tell you, I don't know that I've ever seen Gangrel come off the top.
Oh. And Gangrel, you can see why he often does not go to the high red district. Chamberlain, on the other hand, he likes to drop the elbow from the heavens above.
Chamberlain on the top as Gangrel makes his way to his feet. He went for the double axe handle, but got a fist right to the midsection for his troubles.
So both Gangrel and Chamberlain trying high-risk maneuvers to no avail. Gangrel once again going back to the DDT. Chamberlain now nearly knocks him into next week with that lariat. Gangrel is down. His shoulder looks limp.
Chamberlain on the outside now back in.
And Chamberlain now, lateral press, does not hook the leg. And Gangrel, so resourceful after a 35-year career, knowing where he's at in the ring at all times.
Oh yeah, he knows his ring positioning, that's for sure.
And Amy Veronica right on top of the action. Our officials do an incredible job tonight despite that controversial finish in the Cruiserweight title bout.
Now Chamberlain rolls out again. Where's he going?
And Chamberlain now.
Is he taking a hike?
He's going towards the entrance. Oh, he's looking at one of the kegs, Dan.
This isn't a no disqualification match. Come on, referee, get that keg the heck out of there.
As there's out, that keg's got to be every bit of 50 pounds.
Well, I don't know what he's got in mind.
Chamberlain has the keg here, and he's going to put it right in between the top and middle turnbuckle.
He's trying to balance it there.
Oh, Gangrel. Oh, he turns around. Gangrel. He's going after Chamberlain. Amy Veronica, she's trying to move that keg. Gangrel and Chamberlain, they're battling in the corner. Amy Veronica, she's having a difficult time. That's obviously very heavy.
Chamberlain puts on the brakes.
Oh, and Chamberlain, he collides with the keg.
Blake, it was right in front of me, I could see it.
The light's
His
on,
head
but
bounced
nobody's
off.
home, Dan.
He's glassy-eyed. And Gangrel knows it. Boot to the midsection.
He connects.
There it is.
There's the impact. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, Blake, a big win by the veteran, really putting the spoils on Alex Chamberlain's return to Coastal Championship Wrestling.
And another match in the Brew moment. Here at Hialeah, special Friday night edition. The Vampires come out tonight, and Gangrel gets a big win, answering the Chamberlain challenge, and adds another W to his legendary career.
Blake, what a night we've had so far, and there's still so much more to come.
There is a lot of action left to come. And Dan, we talked earlier about the South American Alliance. You alluded to Ariel Levy being in action. He indeed is in singles action against Johnny Nova, as the South American Alliance have had some issues in recent weeks with Johnny Nova and his new buddy, ERA.
That guy ERA is some piece of work. Johnny Nova, of course, attacking Ariel Levy following anniversary 18 out in the parking lot. And that, of course, led to this match. And it won't be surprising if ERA is at ringside as well.
ERA, he might be in the building, he might not, we don't know. But we do know, as the Vampire Warrior is celebrating with the fans behind us, we do know Vinicious is here. So Johnny Nova better watch his back, or the South American Alliance might be looking for another fight here in Hialeah. Johnny Nova, Ariel Levy, that's coming up next. But don't you go anywhere, because don't forget, Dan, main event, 15-foot high steel cage for the women's title.
Cannot wait. We'll see you soon.
Boca Stone Design, from fabrication to installation of natural stone and quartz. Sick of seeing the same old kitchen? Revamp with us. Call us today or check us out online at bocastonedesign.com.
Attention wrestling fans, the place to be each and every Tuesday is on the Coastal Championship Wrestling YouTube channel, where a new episode of CCW Alive Wrestling drops at 7 p.m. Witness the hard-hitting, high-flying action that is synonymous with the longest-running independent wrestling promotion in the southeastern United States. Subscribe today and don't you dare miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, match number 15, live at the Brewing Company in Hialeah, Florida continues with the following belt set for one fall and a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, he is fighting out of Delco, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 210 pounds. He is always over, Johnny Nova.
Right out of the gate, Ariel Levy not waiting for an introduction. He attacks Johnny Nova as soon as he walks through the curtain. Ariel Levy going to work on Nova here on the outside of the ring. Referee calls for the bell. This one is finally official and underway. Unbelievable Ariel Levy all over Johnny Nova.
Unbelievable turn of events here, folks. We're trying to get everything situated at the broadcast table as Johnny Nova put Ariel Levy through the table, vice versa. This has been a wild brawl, Dan. We're trying to get everything situated here at the broadcast table. Our apologies. Got broken
Levy
stuff all over the place.
Driving the knees into the chest of Johnny Nova. ERA pulling Nova out of the ring. Come on. ERA in the face of Ariel Levy.
And of course,
hey Blake, my question is, where's Vinicious?
Vinicious he's got to be here. We know Fonzie's not here, but Vinicious, we saw him get a win.
Well, yeah.
Certainly conspicuous by his absence is the Brazilian Destroyer.
Nova catches Levy as he's coming back into the ring.
Oh, as Ariel Levy might have his entire knee compromised after that one.
Levy, his knee certainly going to be giving him problems now. Nova all over it.
It should certainly be noted here, Dan, I do believe Jackal Stevens is still in the building. So if ERA needs to watch his back for more than one guy.
A great deployment. ERA on the leg of Ariel Levy on the outside.
As Nova he's got Levy
with a knee breaker now. Levy in serious trouble here.
And I'll tell you what, Dan. Oh wait, Levy inside cradle. 2. Oh, and once again, Nova going right back after that left knee of Levy.
Nova, an outstanding technical wrestler, Blake.
And very similar, Dan, to how we've seen an attitude change from Alan Martinez. Where does this come from Johnny Nova?
Wow, I think it's the influence of ERA.
I want to know how ERA got into the head of Johnny Nova.
Wow, he has his ways, there's no doubt about it. And I got to tell you, Johnny Nova been a little bit sore about some of the losses he's had here recently. Looking for maybe some tutelage, and maybe ERA was just right there in the right place at the right time.
The half crab is applied right here by Johnny Nova as he tries to pull Levy back to the center of the ring. Levy trying to turn him around here and escape, but he's essentially fighting a 2-on-1 battle.
And again, Nova going right back to work on that left knee. ERA with his hands in his air like he's done something.
And Johnny Nova
leaping to the top rope, Blake.
He's up top, Dan. He might be looking to close the door here. And Levy.
ERA had his back turned for a moment. All of a sudden, Levy now under the clothesline.
Blue Thunder Bob, here we go. Levy 2. And a near fall.
He almost had him. Both men the worse for wear, Blake.
As Levy now trying to stand up, but Danny's having a difficult time. He can't put a whole lot of weight on that left knee. You see him trying to shake it out, but I think there might be some damage done.
Oh, without a doubt there is. Hopefully it's not any kind of permanent damage. Inside atomic drop now. Nova again with that left leg. Dragging Levy to the corner post. Come on, referee.
Oh no, Johnny Nova wraps that left knee around the ring post of Ariel Levy. Not once, but now twice.
And again, I ask, where is Vinicious? Levy yanking Nova into the corner post.
Now it's starting to become more of a question, Dan, because ERA has inserted himself in this matchup. You would expect Vinicious to make an appearance at this juncture.
Yeah, he should have been out to begin with, in my opinion, knowing ERA was going to ringside with Nova.
Oh! And Levy connects with the double knees against the ring post, and Johnny Nova.
Nova just glassy-eyed here. Levy throwing him back in. He's got the right idea. Get him in the ring, get him pinned. There it is, 1, 2.
Oh, that was a very close 2, about 2 3/4. And Nova's able to escape. but this new attitude of Johnny Nova has put Ariel Levy at less than 100% in this singles matchup.
Going for the Meteor.
Oh, Nova's got him here.
Oh, Death Valley driver. And he beautifully done. That's going to do it.
He plants Levy right in the center of the ring.
Position 1, 2.
Oh!
Andy Seeley had his eye on ERA on the outside. ERA's presence, but he just cost his partner the match.
ERA walking around, he's looking for the tag team championship. What the hell is he going to do with that physical title belt? He's taking the ring bell. What the hell is he doing? Give it back. What the heck? Get out of here. Andy Seeley, our official, wrestles it away from Johnny Nova. Wait, ERA pops up. He's got some sort of powder. Oh, Levy ducks. It's right in the eyes of Nova. Levy's got him here inside cradle. 1, 2, 3. Levy wins it.
Well, I love it when a bad plan backfires, Blake.
As ERA had the baby powder ready. And another low blow. Where the hell is Vinicious? Get out of here. As Johnny Nova and ERA, a 2-on-1 beatdown.
Nova just
one half of the
stopping at
South
that
American
knee, Blake.
Alliance. You hear the crowd, Dan. They're chanting for the Brazilian Destroyer. Here comes some more officials.
Here comes referee Amy Marina. Where the heck is Vinicious?
And Johnny Nova, once again, a new spark in his attitude, Dan. And Nova and Levy, come on. They're going to do permanent damage to that left knee. And here he comes.
Finally, where the heck has he been, though? That's my question.
Maybe he was drinking beer, I'm not sure. And Johnny Nova. Grabs the CCW Tag Team title, holds it up high. And ERA, he's certainly dipping himself into some hot water here, Dan, between Jackal Stevens and now the South American Alliance. And Ariel Levy once again.
Levy noticeably limping. This is a...
There very well could be permanent damage done.
Wow. At least in the near term.
And wait, whoa. Levy, Vinicious was late on that save, and Levy wants to have nothing to do with him. We saw Levy get a bit frustrated at Bash of the Brew 14, Dan, but that subsided within seconds. Hopefully the South American Alliance can get back on the same page when Bill Alfonso returns to CCW.
Yeah, that's the question. Where is Bill Alfonso? Where was Vinicius during this match? And why was Ariel Levy out there all by himself when ERA was at ringside with Johnny Nova?
Still the tag team champions, but clearly some issues brewing right now between Levy and Vinicius. But Dan, coming up next, our second of 3 championships to be decided, the richest prize in the state of Florida, the CCW Heavyweight Title on the line, the franchise Cha-Cha Charlie, the 6-tool product Anthony Catina. It's coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit, and it's for the CCW Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger from Lambert, Texas, weighing
There he is, Anthony Catina, the challenger, the six-tool product. 6'2", 235 pounds from Highland Park, Texas. He is put together, and what a tremendous athlete he is. But will that be enough to wrest the title from around the waist of Cha-Cha Charlie? Catena getting on the case of some of our fans here ringside. Catena with his hands raised high. He wants that gold around his waist. Catena having words with me. I'm not even quite sure what he said, but he's got an attitude and a half. Crowd is on their feet here in Hialeah. Hialeah's favorite son, Cha-Cha Charlie, the CCW Heavyweight Champion. There he is.
The roof's ready to come off of Unbranded Brewing Company. Hialeah's favorite son has arrived.
I can tell you, Blake, Anthony Catina does not seem impressed.
And Dan, looking at Cha-Cha Charlie, he certainly looks ready to go here tonight, but there's no way Cha-Cha Charlie is 100% after the wars he's had over the last couple of months with Agony.
Yep, he has had some tough bouts. In fact, Anthony Catina at Bash of the Brew 14 seemed to be on the side of Cha-Cha Charlie, only to turn on him with a low blow, leapfrogging over all the other top contenders. And here we are on Friday Night Bash. Catina getting his opportunity. Catina having words with our fans here at ringside. Come on!
That's unreal.
This Anthony Catina, I gotta tell you, he has got some attitude.
He fooled us all, pulled the wool over all of our eyes when he returned to CCW a little over a month ago.
Can you imagine we fell for that? I've turned over a new leaf, yeah.
He certainly seemed genuine from the locker room all the way to the ring. And here we go.
Cha-Cha going right to work.
And Cha-Cha Charlie unloading on Anthony Catina. Remember, Catina came to Charlie's aid at the conclusion of Bash of the Brew 14, only to subsequently turn his back right on the champion.
Well, he clearly had a plan. Cha-Cha now with Catina in the corner.
As Charlie now gonna try to take advantage, and a sling blade right out of the gate.
He's got him on his shoulders.
Cha-Cha.
Could have him here.
He's
One,
digging deep into the
two.
playbook.
Oh, wouldn't that have been great?
Nearly pulled the win out in record fashion.
Catena hasn't even gotten his jacket off. Running leg lariat, followed by a leg drop. Cha-Cha Charlie all over the challenger.
He has the offense cooking here, Dan.
Catena, though, rolls to the outside.
As Cha-Cha Charlie.
Cha-Cha's got something in mind here. Oh, he walked right into a right hand, Blake.
As he took too much time and Catena pops him right in the mouth.
Why, he nearly turned him inside out with that clothesline.
All about 6'4", 240 of Catena, the six-tool product. One of the most complete players in the game today. The only thing missing, Dan, is championship gold around his waist.
And he's going to try and rectify that here tonight. Finally taking that jacket off. He seems very proud of himself right now, Blake. Cha-Cha firing some shots into the midsection. But Catena clubbing him with a forearm blow to the back. And now really putting the boots to Cha-Cha Charlie.
And Catena taking over here. This crowd 100% behind the champion. Charlie trying the sunset flip to Catena, too much to get up and over. Bruce Owens taking a page out of the Tommy Young playbook. Former colleague of our senior official. And Catena elevates Charlie up and brings him right back down on the back of his neck.
Perfect executed belly to back suplex. Two. Cha-Cha able to power out. Still plenty of strength left in Cha-Cha Charlie.
And Catena. You see how laser focused he is. Constant movements from the challenger here.
Wow.
Tries to go for another cover now.
One,
we might
two.
have a new champion.
3 leaping leg knee drops, 3 elbows to the chest. Still unable to pin Cha-Cha Charlie. Cha-Cha needs to mount some offense here. Catena
and Charlie
dumps him to the outside.
Said right out in front of us, Dan, there's been a lot of activity here at the broadcast table tonight.
Yeah. We have no legs on one side of our table here, Blake.
As Charlie trying to recover next to us, here comes the six-tool product.
Catena out after the champion. He walked into a knife edge chop, Blake.
And Charlie, here we go.
Cha-Cha has him up against the guardrails now. And another chop to the chest.
As Catena's right next to us here.
It hurts so damn bad.
I bet it did hurt.
Well, it serves him right, Blake.
As Cha-Cha gonna measure him up yet again. Oh!
He was measured for that chop, and he took a poke right in the eyes.
Oh! And Charlie, you see that right knee bangs into the side of the steel steps. Could have compromised his ACL perhaps, or even meniscus. Here we go. Catena trying to win the title.
Referee completely out of position.
And it seems like the last few pinfall attempts for Catena, he certainly had an issue with the way Bruce Owens is counting.
Cha-Cha really firing back now. Has Catena up against the ropes, figuratively and literally. Reversal though by Catena. Picture perfect drop kick right to the jaw.
Here we go. The champion is not coming quite yet. As Catena joins
This crowd is not happy with Anthony Catena.
Catina jaw-jacking with the crowd, but Dan, he's going to need to go back to the drawing board here. What else can he design to get by Cha-Cha Charlie?
Well, he is the 6-tool product. I'm sure he's got a lot left in his playbook. Driving Cha-Cha's head into the corner.
And we know both of these guys can step out of their comfort zone. We saw it just a month ago here at Bash of the Brew 14. Cha-Cha Charlie, no disqualifications, no countouts. And Anthony Catina, you can go back to August of 2021, the epic ladder match with Jackal Stevens.
Cha-Cha Charlie absorbing those blows. Blocks the right hand, delivers one of his own. 3 in a row, there's 4. Cha-Cha Charlie now on the attack.
And Cha-Cha now trying to close the gap between him and the 6-tool product. Oh, look at Charlie looking to out-wrestle Catina here.
Nice German suplex, could have him. Oh, so close, Blake.
From the Dragon to the German, beautifully done by Cha-Cha Charlie.
And
Cha-Cha with a boot.
Takes a swipe at Catina. The 6-tool product is in position. Time for some Cha-Cha elbows.
He connects with the blade, cover that man. Referee there, 1, 2, 3. No, did he get him?
It looked to be on the cusp yet again, Dan, about 2 and 3 quarters.
Referee holding up 2 fingers.
It doesn't get much closer than that.
Cha-Cha really needs to close the book on this one and put him away. Catina rolling toward the ropes. Now to the outside.
Cha-Cha back to his feet here. Catina in the wrong part of town. Oh, and Catina finds an opening, and Dan, that's exactly why he's the 6-tool product.
That's right, Catina baited Cha-Cha. He had him right where he wanted him. Leaping neck breaker, beautifully done. Goes for the cover. 1, 2.
Press. And that won't be enough.
Man, Bruce Owens so close to that hand hitting the mat for a 3rd time.
And our senior official has been on top of all of the action.
Charlie.
Jawbreaker by Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha, don't dance, go after him. Splash in the corner, no time to waste when you're in the ring with a 6-tool product.
And now
Cha-Cha
Cha-Cha
him out of the corner.
He's going up top. In the same corner the hat is. He's not looking to grab it quite yet, but he's in the high red district.
Beautiful crossbody.
He connects.
1, 2, 3. Oh, he kicked out.
2 7/8. Danny's getting closer and closer.
Blake, we just saw Cha-Cha Charlie beat Romeo Caveda with that same move on CCW Live Wrestling this week. I thought he had him for sure.
That was from back in February at Secret Treasure in Port St. Lucie. As Anthony Catina looking to uncover a new treasure for himself here tonight. Cha-Cha looking to keep his around his waist.
Cha-Cha now with Catina.
And now Cha-Cha.
Onto the shoulders.
That's 240 pounds across the back of his neck and shoulders. Catina, he's going to escape. There's a roll-up. He's got his feet on the top.
Come on, Bruce.
And Bruce Owens.
He caught him.
Jonny on the spot. That's why he's our senior official.
Boy, he had a ton of leverage. His feet were on the top rope. That long, tall body. Cha-Cha with a knife edge chop. Takes Catina off his feet.
And Cha-Cha now. Gonna send Catina for a ride.
Reversal by Catina.
He reverses. Oh, Catina connects right in the temple of Cha-Cha Charlie. He might be out cold. Here we go. Catina with the cover. And
man, that was
he does
close,
not
Blake.
put pressure on the shoulders of Cha-Cha Charlie. And in a heavyweight title match, you're going to need to pull out all the stops. Catina left just the door wide open. And that was enough for Cha-Cha to kick out.
All he needed was a crack, and he was able to get out of there. Cha-Cha Charlie flat on his back, though. Catina back to his feet as his crowd chants for the champion.
And Catina, he likes the DDT himself. We've already seen a couple versions tonight.
Oh, rolling senton.
And Cha-Cha.
And a moonsault. He could have him. 1, 2. Oh, come on.
Lucha Charlie here in Hialeah.
Oh, so close, Blake.
And Cha-Cha now.
Cha-Cha.
Looking out to the crowd.
He's got to be thinking now, what has he got to do to put this guy away?
How can he turn this corner, Dan? How can he set up Anthony Catina for the Bangu Splash?
Under a clothesline. Forget the dancing, Cha-Cha. Now's not the time. Boot to the midsection.
Almost lost focus, but he quickly gets it right back. That's usually step. Oh! And Cha-Cha, you see his face connect to that middle rope. There's serious backlash and whiplash
right there. That's a steel cable with hydraulic tubing. Cha-Cha took it right across the chin. Catina now. Nicely executed suplex.
Oh, come on. Setting him up here. I guess this will be the third, amigo.
An homage to the late, great Eddie Guerrero.
Taking a page out of the Logan Paul playbook.
Catina now to the outside.
He might be going for that Eddie Guerrero frog splash.
I think you might be right, Blake.
And
Catina perched on the top rope.
He's upstairs. And Cha-Cha saw it coming. And the heavyweight champion has a new lease on life.
I think Catina saw him moving when he was midair, trying to correct himself. I don't know if he took a full brunt of that splash, but in any event, Cha-Cha Charlie now says, let me show you how it's done. That's 2.
And Cha-Cha now looking for the third. And if he connects right in the center here, Dan. Oh, Catina, the go behind. Cha-Cha
almost collided with Owens. Oh, come on. That was intentional. That was intentional. Owens down.
Looks like Catina taking a page out of Alan Martinez's playbook.
Oh! Low blow! Low blow!
And Catina set him up for that super spike DDT.
That's it.
There's no way it ends
now,
like
you know
this.
What? Look at this. Owens is down, but at the hands of Catina. It serves him right.
As Catina has the match won here, but there's no referee.
Owens flat on his face, and he's no spring chicken, Blake.
I mean, that's 225 pounds coming at about 60 miles an hour.
Well, I don't know about 60 miles an hour, but it was certainly enough to take Owens out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Catina with Cha-Cha Charlie's hand.
We saw Catina dance with Charlie at Bash of the Brew 14, but of course we saw what happened after the dance finished.
Looks like he's going for another DDT.
He's gonna try to beat him with the hat on and a DDT.
Oh! Turnabout is fair play, Blake.
And Bruce Owens doesn't see it.
Cha-Cha grabbing the hat off the head of Catina.
And Charlie now elevates Catina.
Oh, brain buster.
That's about 6'4", 6'5", 240.
see the franchise go all the way upstairs.
Cha-Cha puts the hat on, trying to rouse Bruce Owens a little bit. Cha-Cha to the top. Catina prone in the center of the ring. He nailed the frog splash. That's going to do it.
Owens.
1, 2, and no!
How does Catina kick out of that?
That's the first time, Blake, I've ever seen anybody kick out of that Mango Splash.
With the head on.
Right. Owens was slow and a little bit out of position.
And our senior official, Bruce Owens, looks like he got a bit roughed up by that collision with Cha-Cha Charlie.
You got to give credit where credit is due. Catina
he looks
really
like he might
showing
have
us
some
a
small
lot.
cuts around his mouth.
A look of shock on Cha-Cha's face. They're trading right hands now. Both men back on their feet. Cha-Cha getting the better of him until he met a boot to the midsection. Misses a clothesline, does Catina. Both men over the top rope to the outside here on the concrete floor.
As Catina and Charlie are both down here.
Owens now. You are right, Blake. Owens got a cut. I can't tell if it's under his eye or his nose. He's the outside, tell him to get back in the ring. Owens needs to administer the count, though. Owens very liberal with his count.
Again, this is a heavyweight title matchup, Dan. As Charlie trying to recover right in front of us.
Cha-Cha back on his feet. Owens has not even begun his account. Catina now back on his feet as well.
And again, disqualifications, countouts, supposed to be in effect here.
He just spit something in the face of Cha-Cha Charlie. I don't know if it was that was a beer, I could smell it.
As Cha-Cha Charlie back inside the ring.
Cha-Cha Charlie's got a mouthful of beer, I think. Yes, he does. And he spit it right in the face of Anthony Catina.
A tit for tat, if you will. Catina appears blinded. Charlie.
Right hand by Cha-Cha. And again. 4 unanswered blows.
And now, he's going to push down Bruce Owens.
Come on, Bruce.
Come on now.
Cha-Cha, come on.
But he doesn't disqualify him.
Again, Owens very liberal in championship matches. Now both men shoving Bruce down.
Bruce goes down again. Catina and Charlie are brawling here. Bruce Owens trying to get in the middle of him. He's trying to break him up here. And he's calling for it.
Owens,
it's a decision.
Owens has had enough. Blake Chadwick approaching Bruce Owens, trying to get the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, senior official Bruce Owens has disqualified both Cha-Cha Charlie and Anthony Catina. Therefore, this match is a double disqualification.
Double DQ here. And Brett, look out! Catina from behind.
Of course, Cha-Cha Charlie still your CCW Heavyweight Champion. But this action is not quite complete.
Death press. Cha-Cha going to work with right hands.
You know when there's a beer and a Fez press, there's going to be a fight.
Adrian Paz now.
As some CCW officials and security around here, some of our wrestlers, you Paul Anderson out here.
Anderson, Joe Garcia. Look out!
Oh, Cha-Cha!
Cha-Cha taking out the whole field.
The Tope Suicida takes out the locker room.
What a match, Blake. Nothing settled between these two, that's for sure. Nothing has been settled here in Hialeah, Blake.
Certainly the issues between Catina and Charlie, far from over here. As everyone's trying to get in between them, as they're going to look like they're brawling to the back. Dan, what a wild co-main event for the CCW Heavyweight Title.
What a war we just saw, and this one is far from over, Blake. But still the main event to come, a steel cage match.
As Cha-Cha
for the
Charlie's
CCW
music
Women's
plays,
Championship.
of course he is still the heavyweight champion. When we're back here Saturday night for Match of the Brew 16, I'd imagine Cha-Cha Charlie and Anthony Catena could collide yet again. And I'll tell you what, Dan, the action has been wild all night long. Surprises, title matches. I mean, this has really lived up to the hype for a Friday Match of the Brew.
It really has. And wrestling fans, will be right back with a steel cage match for the CCW Women's Championship.
Accidents happen. If you've been injured in an accident, get the compensation you deserve. At GotInjured.com, we're here to help you take your life back. Give us a call or visit us online at GotInjured.com now to learn more.
Do you want to be a mark? Or do you want to leave a mark?
I'm smarter than the average bear.
Hey CCW fans, Minutes to the Bell Time is your one-stop shop for pro wrestling news and information. Stay up to date with the daily wrestling news show, the Body Slam Brigade newsletter, and check out our social media for daily updates. Find out more by following Minutes to the Bell Time on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
You guys better stay out of your damn business. Huh? Have some freaking respect, guys. Seriously. Are you guys fucking serious?
We're trying to maintain order here.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're acting.
Maintain order, my
You're
ass.
acting reckless out here. You're gonna hurt somebody. Come on. What's the matter with you?
a wild continuation there of the CCW Heavyweight Championship bout. Cha-Cha Charlie and Anthony Catena brawling all around Unbraided Brewing Company even after the bell.
Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know where that one's going to end. It's certainly going to be back here at the brewery. Nothing settled between those two. But Blake, right in front of us, the cage has been erected, and this main event is just about to begin.
This is the one everyone came to see. It's been building for about 4 months. Ever since KiLynn King took the CCW Women's Championship from around the waist of Marina Tucker back in January right here in this building. They've been at each other's throats, whether it's in Ocala, Port St. Lucie, or right back here in Hialeah. 15-foot high steel cage for the richest prize in the women's division. It's coming up next. KiLynn King and Marina Tucker are gonna go to war.
Cannot wait. Wrestling fans, it's main event time. It's steel cage time. There's the Detroit Barbie, Marina Tucker. The challenger wants that belt back. She says she'll be the 3-time CCW Women's Champion. And she just may be. KiLynn King is going to have her hands full with a Detroit Barbie tonight inside this steel cage. Here comes the champion. KiLynn King. Double tough. 6 feet tall powerhouse. Your CCW Women's Champion. She will not back down an inch. King ready for action. This one is going to be off the chain. Both ladies inside the cage. Referee Bruce Owens. The cage door has been shut. Blake Chadwick still inside the squared circle as he makes the announcement. Let's go to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is your pass to the Brew 15 main event of the evening for the CCW Women's Championship inside a steel cage. Once again, the only evening, pinfall submission or escape. With the bell ring and man in charge, CCW secret official Bruce Owens. The following bout is brought to you by DNR Fencing. Introducing first, standing to my right, she is the challenger.
The crowd not fans of Marina Tucker as they meet her with a chorus of boos. CCW Women's Championship up. Blake Chadwick making his way out of the ring. That door will close and be locked.
Well, Dan, the table has been set.
It certainly has.
The challenger is in. The champion is in.
Bruce Owens with that belt high in the air, signifying that it is in fact on the line.
So Dan, nearly 4 months of momentum has built to this moment.
Referee Bruce Owens closing the cage door.
And remember, the only way to win, pinfall, submission, or escape, you can go over the top of the cage or through the door. Bell sounds, we are underway. It's main event time. 15-foot high steel cage for the Women's Championship. KiLynn King defending against Marina Tucker. Senior official Bruce Owens deciding this contest. Dan, we are in for a treat.
Yes, we are. We've been waiting all night. It is finally upon us as they come face to face. King towering over Tucker.
And Dan, I do believe for the first time in CCW history, 2 women stepping inside the cage.
They're going right at it, Blake. Big forearm to the chest, missing a clothesline.
Was not expecting a whole lot of headlocks and wrist locks in this one.
Tucker looking to escape right out of the gate.
As KiLynn, they're already climbing, Dan.
King with a boot to the back of Tucker, and she gives chase along the top rope.
And you can tell here, Dan, just by the looks of things, this cage does not have a whole lot of give.
Oh, it certainly doesn't. I was shaking it earlier to make sure that it was sturdy enough, and it sure as heck is. It barely moves. And of course, we had DNR Fencing to thank for that.
DNR Fencing, an incredible job constructing this cage. And transporting it here to Unbranded Brewing Company. This is one of the biggest fights we've ever seen, certainly in the women's division here in CCW. Oh, and KiLynn off the top, coming down with the Bulldog.
1, 2. King now driving shoulders into the midsection of Marina Tucker. Hard into the buckle goes Tucker. King in after her. Snapmares are out of the corner.
And KiLynn King here, showing off some athleticism, but that comes right back with the double knees in the face.
2.
A couple of Midwest women duking it out here in the 305.
Tucker blocking that shot to the turnbuckle, driving a chop across the chest of King.
And the Detroit Barbie's unloading, showing off a whole new side of Marina Tucker here. Usually more a technical-based competitor.
Well, she can brawl with the best of them. She's going to have to here. Reversal by King. Tucker holding on the rope. Oh! Sidesteps a charging King and got her tangled up between the ropes and the steel.
And Marina Tucker now in control against KiLynn King. Both of these ladies came to fight tonight.
Running knee right into the side of the head of King, it looked like.
Oh, here we go. Tucker looking to become a 3-time champion.
And of course, we know, Dan, she dominated the women's division all throughout 2021, and then right at the new year, KiLynn King spoiled that party.
She sure did, and she spoiled right here. Ooh, big senton by Tucker.
And look at Marina Tucker here, Dan. She doesn't go for a cover. She's not looking to escape right away. She just wants to inflict some more punishment here on the champ.
I think she's looking for a way out now, though, Blake.
And Tucker's gonna climb.
King, though, back to her feet quickly. 3 big forearms to the lower back.
And she calls herself the Mother Effin' King. A whole new attitude here tonight by the CCW Women's Champion.
Both ladies. Oh! I was just about to say both ladies on the top rope, but not for long. King just skimming down that cage. The mesh scraping her back. Oh, a drop kick by Tucker.
And you notice KiLynn King trapped in between that rope and cage. Dan, when I was in there doing the introductions, there's very little space in there. KiLynn King does not have a whole lot of room to move. Certain damage could have been done.
Without a doubt. And now Tucker with King's head. Pulling back on those arms.
Ooh! And Marina Tucker here doing some damage against KiLynn King. It looks like Marina Tucker's maybe been watching some Malice at the Palace footage from Auburn Hills.
Whatever she's been watching, it's certainly done her a lot of favor, because Marina Tucker is completely in control of this match now.
And Tucker sends King here to the near side corner and just meets her right in the midsection. And look at King, once again, showing off the fight. And Marina Tucker here looks a bit disoriented.
King trying to reposition, I think.
Marina looks like she was trying to fight free, but KiLynn's gonna pick her right up.
Ooh!
And takes her like a lawn dart right into that cage.
Wow, she powered her up there over her shoulder and launched her headfirst into that cage. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Tucker somehow able to get her shoulder up.
And the king of the women's division here, looking to get one up on Marina Tucker. And you have to think, Dan, Marina Tucker has gotten other title shots before this cage match. If she can't get the win tonight and secure that 3rd title reign, Marina Tucker's opportunities at the CCW Women's Championship could be going straight to purgatory.
You could be exactly right about that, Blake. But Tucker turning King around now. Ooh, and a kick right to the chest.
As Marina now throwing those forearms, and you see them just going right across the forehead of KiLynn King.
Yeah, King covering up though, able to block a lot of that force, and now, oh, man,
and Tucker
there we go.
Meets her in the basement with the DDT. Here we
One,
go.
2. Whoa.
And King's able to slip that shoulder up.
Bruce Owens' hand just a millimeter from the mat on that 3 count.
And KiLynn King, not just in her reign as CCW Women's Champion, Dan, but throughout her career, which has spanned roughly 5 years, I don't believe KiLynn King, not only has she ever been pushed like this, she has never been in this type of match environment before. This is the biggest fight feel of KiLynn King's career.
As far as I know, it's the first cage match for both ladies.
Absolutely.
Reversal now by King, though. Boot to the midsection. The champion really firing back on the challenger now.
And if you notice, Dan, it looks like King's talking to Tucker, showing off that smack talk that she was receiving the last couple of months.
Oh, Tucker with a stunner of sorts.
And you can really see the struggle as these two jockey for position. Tucker finds an opening here, but Dan, she does not have enough left in her right now to make that cover.
She's rolling in that direction now there, and there it is. 1, 2.
A little too late and does not hook the leg.
Yeah, man, no way to cross the chest, really. King able to roll that shoulder pretty easily.
As KiLynn
Tucker
in a seated position. And that's one way to neutralize the size of KiLynn King, but she pops right back up. Here comes an STO. And look at KiLynn. She's gonna launch Tucker. Look at that power of the mother effing King.
Your champion is fired up. She goes for the cover. 1, 2. Tucker somehow able to dig down deep enough to get that shoulder raised. Tucker right there by the door. I'm not sure if either of these women know exactly where they are in the ring. Tucker right by the exit.
And Tucker.
Blockbuster.
We knew this was a 5-star match. There's a blockbuster. 2. And Tucker, a bit frustrated here, arguing with our senior official. But from our vantage point, Dan, KiLynn certainly got her shoulder up.
Wait a minute, she seems to be trying to take that turnbuckle off.
And that's completely legal.
Yeah, there's no disqualification here. She has that steel buckle exposed.
As Tucker rips off that turnbuckle pad.
And she looks out to the crowd and says now she thinks she has KiLynn King exactly where she wants her. She stops, puts up the elbow. KiLynn King now firing away with successive chops to the chest. Tucker now
sends her here to the far side corner. Slight hesitation there by King, and now Tucker's got her up. Chicken wing.
Oh no!
And then face first on that exposed turnbuckle. KiLynn could be out.
Blake, that's gonna do it. King somehow able to move. I don't know how she's standing. Now she's about to get to her feet, it seems. I figured she'd be out cold. Tucker wasting valuable time though,
and
Blake.
KiLynn, she hit her head on that exposed turnbuckle, Dan. Not only might she be out, she could be suffering some damage. Oh, wait a minute. She's busted open.
She is indeed.
It looks like the top of her head got cut open. I mean, you take a look at that turnbuckle, Dan, that's exposed steel.
And Blake, she hit it hard. It was right here in front of us.
And look at it flow as Marina Tucker now finds an opening here, like a shark proverbially smelling blood and water.
Right, she's right after that cut. Firing away shots right into the forehead of KiLynn King. King with a cut toward the top of her forehead.
What a visual here, Dan. KiLynn King getting choked out, blood flowing down, but for now, she is still the champ.
But the question in my mind right now, Blake, Marina Tucker, will she go for the escape or will she inflict more punishment?
And the mother effing King gets launched into the cage yet again. You saw Bruce Owens checking in on KiLynn after her head hit that top turnbuckle. Clearly, she's not in the right frame of mind.
Well, I think no one's asking her now if she wants to give up. Does she got a rear naked choke locked in?
She does. The legs not quite grapevined around the midsection, but she does have her position, unlike Blake Bowman earlier on tonight. And you can see she appears to have that arm underneath the chin, cutting off the circulation and blood flow, and of course air to the windpipe of KiLynn.
Tucker now trying to make her way back to her feet. Somehow able to lift Marina Tucker on her back.
And KiLynn might have been out of desperation, Dan, but she finally shakes the proverbial monkey off her back.
Well, sheer power is what it was, Blake. Tucker grasping at her lower back. King trying to make her way back up to her feet.
Tucker.
Oh, a big clothesline took her inside out.
To get her more of KiLynn. And this crowd is raucous.
She's going for the cover, Blake. There it is. 1, 2.
And Bruce Owens,
shoulder up.
Shows about 2 3/4.
King looking towards the door. King, a bloody mess. She's going to the top rope though, it looks like, Blake.
Oh, that door's open. Remember, the first lady out that door wins the match and secures the championship.
Referee Bruce Owens, apoplectic, saying close the door.
As the door got jarred loose, but it's now secure.
We should have a second referee handling that door, Blake.
In theory, we should, but they're probably still stopping Cha-Cha and Catina.
You might be right.
As King, she's all the way upstairs, Dan. Main event here in Hialeah. And she misses the frog splash.
Not only did she miss, but Tucker rolled right towards that exit. I don't even know if she's aware of where she is though, Blake.
Bruce Owens administering his count, but Dan, what happens if he gets to 10?
That's a good question. I don't think it matters. Tucker back on her feet.
As you see KiLynn there.
I'm not quite sure why Bruce is counting.
I don't know if you caught that or our cameras did. KiLynn King touches her face there to see how much she's bleeding, and it almost seems like it's motivating her. Wait a minute.
Tucker looks like she's trying to go over the top. No. She's perched on that top rope.
No.
She's thinking moonsault. Oh, picture perfect. Beautifully done. New champion. 2. Oh, I can't believe it. She kicked out. She kicked out.
KiLynn King hangs on, but Marina Tucker,
she's
leaving
pitching
it all
a
on
fit.
the line here in Hialeah. The champion is down. The challenger is down. The CCW Women's Championship, it's hanging in the balance here in this steel cage main event. What a fight between these two ladies.
Tucker now pulling herself up on that top rope. King trying to get to her feet. Tucker looks like she's maybe trying to escape.
And Tucker going to the near side corner here, but KiLynn maybe out of desperation, Dan. She was sensing it slip out of her hands.
Tucker draped across that rope. King clubbing away. Here she comes. Oh! Drives that knee into the midsection.
And you see Tucker fly. And now KiLynn putting Tucker in position. And KiLynn's going to ascend.
Looks like she's going for the superplex.
And just as Tucker connects to the moonsault, KiLynn comes back to the superplex. What a match!
We are seeing a classic here, Blake, there's no doubt. Both women down. Referee, I believe, up to a 5 count, Blake.
Tucker and King, neither of them really moving.
Well, King now beginning to stir. Tucker's got her head up. King still a bloody mess.
And KiLynn looks like she's ready to sink her teeth into this one.
Forearm to the chest. They're exchanging blows now, Blake. These two have been in a war.
Back and forth, tooth and nail right in the center of the ring. These two ladies are fighting for way more than a championship here, Dan.
Tucker following her right back with a forearm of her own. It's tick for tack.
As these two
King
staying on
connected.
pace with one another.
Tucker not backing down an inch. Snapmares her out. Oh, and that knee caught her in the chin. That's going to do it.
Catches a V-trigger.
2.
Two.
Oh! Again, just a millimeter away from a 3 count.
Our senior official says it's only 2. And Marina Tucker on the precipice of winning her 3rd CCW Women's title. Still has a little bit more work left to do here, Dan.
Tucker with a handful of hair. dragging the champion to her feet. Oh, into the cage hard. Pillar to post. Reversing it though.
Right to there.
Oh!
Snap German suplex.
Unbelievable.
What a sequence by KiLynn King.
King now with a cover.
Here we go.
1, 2. Ah, come on.
And
how did you do it?
And you see the frustration setting into KiLynn. Dan, she has to wonder, what else could she possibly do to put down the Detroit Barbie?
Well, I think if she's smart right now, she'll turn around and walk out that cage door, climb over the top. I think Tucker is unpinnable at this point.
And Tucker, that side Russian leg sweep. And now she might be looking to shut the door here. Putting her right position indeed, Dan. Can she spin around? No. KiLynn, she was ready for it. Inside cradle, Russo is dropped down. And Tucker's able to break free.
Boot to the midsection by
KiLynn
Tucker.
gonna turn her. Oh, she goes for the roundhouse. KiLynn's got her up.
She got her. She got her. That's gonna do it.
Flips her around.
1, 2. No, she kicked out. She kicked out, Blake. Unbelievable.
Back and forth we go here in Hialeah. We talked about Alan Martinez and Fuego Del Sol. Early candidate for match of the year. I think they're already passed for match of the night.
Without a doubt, Blake. That's how she won the title to begin with. Oh, and a jawbreaker.
And Tucker here.
Forearm to the jaw.
Trying to create some separation between her and King.
Tucker looking to escape now, I do believe. But King hammered her in the lower back.
KiLynn now trying to prevent Marina Tucker from escaping. Remember, that turnbuckle's gone.
It's deja vu all over again.
As these two ladies in a very precarious position here. As King now, goes for almost a super kick.
They're teetering on that top rope.
I mean, Dan, we're in a situation here where both ladies, opportunities could be compromised. Wait, King from all the way up top. Here we go. Oh, super choke slam. There's a cover. 1, 2.
Unbelievable. King retains. King retains. What a match. Unbelievable. Both women giving it their all. KiLynn King coming out on top. Oh man, a Shemet Blake. What a match we just saw.
What an emotional scene inside the ring. Tears of joy and sacrifice pouring down the face of KiLynn King. She came out tonight. She left it all in the ring, 110%, and she's walking out still the champion.
Unbelievable, what a match. The crowd on their feet here in Hialeah. She wants the microphone, Blake. Referee now, Russo is handing the microphone to KiLynn King. Blake, let's see what she has to say.
Marina Tucker still trying to recover, but we just witnessed one of the most brutal wars in CCW history.
Well, KiLynn King giving props to Tucker.
that we don't like each other. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Unless it takes some kind of happen. But the one thing you do have for me is my mother effing respect.
There you have it, Blake.
Takes a big person to say that.
Oh, Tucker snatching the microphone out of the hands of KiLynn King. Well, that's not something you see very often, Blake.
Do you expect her to actually shake? So it looks like it's a mutual respect here.
Wow.
It's KiLynn King and Marina Tucker.
That's something I'd love to see.
Both left it all in the ring, Dan. An incredible performance by both women. Both worthy of championship gold.
Unbelievable. Blake, what a night.
What a night indeed it was. 3 championship matches were decided here tonight. KiLynn King, still your CCW Women's Champion. Cha-Cha Charlie, still your Heavyweight Champion. But the issues between him and the six-tool product, Anthony Catina, appear to be far from over here in CCW.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Rumor has it that CCW officials have banned Anthony Catina from our next event here at the Bash of the Brew. That's what I've been told.
Breaking news here from Dan Evans.
But I can tell you right now, if it's here or if it's somewhere else like Port St. Lucie or at the Miami Brewing Company, those two are going to go at it again, and it's not going to be pretty.
And of course, we'll be at Miami Brewing Company tomorrow night for a double shot of action here on this great weekend for CCW. A very special Friday night Bash in the Brew 15, but we'll be back on May 7th, Saturday night, our official time right here once again, 8 p.m. bell time for Bash in the Brew 16. And once again, Dan, incredible surprises tonight. Gangrel entering the Chamberlain Challenge.
That was awesome.
Dan Lambert, owner of American Top Team, coming out here with Blake Bowman, but he got what he deserved.
Yes, he did.
So once again, an incredible event here from Hialeah and Unbraided Brewing Company. We continue to make moments here at Bash of the Brew. So on behalf of my broadcast colleague, Dan Evans, I'm Blake Chadwick, for the entire CCW family, thank you for joining us here at Bash of the Brew 15, and we'll see you tomorrow night for action at the Miami Brewing Company right here for Coastal Championship Wrestling.